Welcome students. Today is Tuesday, September 29th, and we are starting Unit 3. So we're starting Unit 3 with lesson number 1, use place value to add or subtract. And our specific title for this one lesson is Place Value Parade. Our learning targets today is Today, I will explain how a digit's place in the base 10 system changes its value at a rate of 10. Our essential questions: how do we make sense of larger numbers, and how does understanding the value of digits help answer real-life math problems? Our next slide, on your slideshow, and you're going to follow me in just a second with this, we're going to click right here in just a minute to build the numbers 582 and 528. So what I want you to do first is to open up your math notebook and let's write these numbers down. So open up your math notebook and I want you to write down the two numbers that we have right here, 582, 528. And remember, you can pause this video as often as you like. Okay, so you've had a chance to write down in your notebook, your math notebook, the number 582 and the number 528, because we're going to need it when we click on this in order to build the numbers. So once you click on this, it's going to bring you to a new screen, okay? And it opens up this website where we can practice. And if you look over here, you're going to recognize all of our base 10 numbers. So you've got the single ones here, single blocks are called units, and you've got the 10 blocks here, we call them rods. And you've got them here, they're just in a different position. And over here, you've got the 100 blocks, we call those flats, okay? So our first number that we want to build is 582, 582. So in order to do that, you're just going to click and drag, okay? So we're going to take one of these 100s, because in order to make 528, we need 5 of the hundreds. So I've got one, and just a little quick tool, and instead of me having to just drop and drag 5 total, I can just go down here to the bottom, and this will duplicate it for me. So I've already got 100 up there. I need 5 total of those. 2, 3, so you just click it, it'll duplicate it, it'll make another one. So that's 300s that I have, 4 and 500. So I've got 500s, now I need 82. I need 8 10s. So now I'm going to take one of the 10s over, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to duplicate them because I need a total of 8. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so now I have 500, 8 10s. Now I need 2 1s. So I'm going to take this one, I'm going to drag it over, and I'm just going to duplicate one of those. So I need 2 of them. Okay, so now I have built the number 582. 582, because I have 500s, I have 8 10s, and I have 2 1s. So I want you to do the same thing on yours. And if you make a mistake, all you have to do, if you want to clear your whole screen out, all you need to do is come down to the little icon here at the bottom. It'll ask you, do you want to clear out all of your work? Okay. If you do, click yes. If you don't, click no. If you just want to take out one thing, just click on whatever you want to take out, and then you just hit the delete button on your computer keyboard. Okay. So I'm going to get this back over. Give me one more. And once you finish building this, we are going to clear it out. I want you to practice building the 582, and then I want you to practice building the 528. Using the same strategies, practice building the 528 after you've built the first one. So our next slide here, I'm instructing you to jot down your ideas in your math notebook first. Okay, so you're going to have your math notebook open to a blank page so that you can write down some notes. And I've got some directions here. How is the 2 in the number 582, similar to and different from the 2 in the number 528. So how is the 2 in the number 582 similar to and different from the 2 in the number 528? So we're going to pause. I want to give you a chance to write those in your notebook. Okay, so you've had an opportunity to jot down your ideas in your math notebook to help figure out how is the 2 in the number 582 similar to and different from the 2 in the number 528. And some of the things that you could write, and hopefully you were thinking of, is that they are similar in that the figures are the same. So the number 2 looks the same in both of these. And how are they different? Well, the value 2 in the number 582, the value of 2 in the number 582 is just 2, which means it's 2 ones. It's in the ones place. Okay. So the value of 2 in the number 528 is 20. It represents 2 tens because the 2 is sitting in the tens place. Okay, so that's the difference between those. So on our next slide, we're going to do something very similar to what we did just before, but we're just looking at a different number. So again, I want you to jot down your ideas in your math notebook first. All right, how is the 8 in the number 582 similar to and different from the 8 in the number 528? So we're going to pause the video for a few minutes. I want you to think about what the answer to this is, and I want you to write it in your notebook first. So you've had an opportunity to jot it down in your notebook, and some of the answers that you could have come up with are for how are they similar. The figures are the same. When I say the figures, I mean the actual number 8. They look the same. Okay. How are they different? Because of their value, just like in the previous slide. The value of 8 in 582 is 80 because 80 is sitting in the tens place. It represents 8 tens. The value of 8 in 528 is just 8. It represents 8 ones. So on our next slide, I've got a drawing. So this actually represents a multi-digit number. So just imagine that there are numbers inside of here, but there are blank spaces, but this represents a multi-digit number. And we're going to figure out what does each place value represent for each one. So for this one, and we're going to pause for a second, I want you to be thinking about what place value is represented right here if there was a number, what place value is represented here if there was a number, what place value would be represented here, here, and here. So we're going to pause for a second. I want you to think about that. So on our place value chart right here, this particular place represents the ones place value. The next one to the left of it represent the tens, and to the left of it, the hundreds are represented. To the left of it, the thousands are represented, and to the left of it, 10,000s are represented. So I've added a 3 to our place value chart right here. And what is the value of this 3 as it sits in the ones place? What is the value of the 3? So let's pause for a minute. I want you to think about what's the value of the 3, and we're going to talk about it in just a second. So since the 3 is in the ones place, it's representing 3 ones, which is the same as 3. So the value of this as it sits right here is 3. So now what I've done is I've moved the 3 from the ones place and I put it over in the tens place. But I added a 0 right here. Okay. So my question now is, what is the value of the 3 as it now sits in the tens place? What is the value of this 3 now that it sits in the tens place? So now that the 3 sits in the tens place, it has a value of 30. So this represents 3 tens. So if you add up, if you did repeated addition and you did 10 3 times, the answer will be 30. Or if you said 3 times 10, it will be 30. So the 3 in this place represents 30. Remember when we had the 3 right here in the ones place, the value was just 3. But when we move the 3 into the tens place, the value is now 30. So what that means is when we moved it from one place value to the left, it increased by 10. The value increased by 10. And that's going to be the case for each one. The value is going to increase by 10 each time we move it from one place value to another, from right to left. So now I've taken the 3 and I've moved it over one place value to the left. So I've moved it from the tens to the hundreds place. And I have placed zeros in the tens place, and I've got 1 in the ones. So now what's the value of the 3? Now if you said that the value of the 3 at this point is 300, you would be correct. 300 is 10 times more than the value that the 3 had in the tens place. So it is now a value of, the 3 has a value of 300. So I've moved the 3 from the hundreds place, one place value to the left. And now the 3 is sitting in the thousands place. Okay. So what is the value of the 3 as it sits in the thousands place? So the 3 represents 3 thousands. So it's 3,000 total. And next I've moved the 3 one place value to the left. So it is now in the 10,000s place. So this 3 now represents 30,000. So it's 310, 3 different 10,000s. It's 30,000. So for our independent practice, it is going to be page 117 in your math binder. So our independent practice is page 117 in your math binder, and it is journal prompt base 10 place value. Our directions: answer the following journal prompt using words and pictures to prove your thinking. Use precise language such as place, value, digit, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10 times, compare, unit, or base 10 system. So our question is, how do the two sevens compare in the number 9,741 and 1,479? So how do the sevens compare in both of those numbers? This is some of what we did earlier in our lesson today. And you're going to actually complete this in your notebook, complete it in your math binder on page 117, and you're going to take a picture of it, and you're going to need to upload your picture to the assignment before you turn it in. Now, we practiced with some digital manipulatives earlier, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to do that now also. So let's actually go to our next slide. And so you can actually build your numbers by opening the base 10 blocks practice, and by clicking right here, you can build both numbers. So I would suggest you go in and write it in your notebook. Let's write these two numbers in your notebook. Write down 9,741 and also write down 1,479. Now this website here is going to allow you to build these two numbers similar to what we did earlier, and you can build them, and it can help you to compare the two when you actually go back and work on page 117. So this is to help you to get your ideas together before you actually answer the question on 117. Okay, so when you click here, it's going to bring up a different web page. Now this site is just a little bit different, but it's the same concept. You're going to build the numbers, and our first number was 9,741. 9,741. So of course you got the tens right here. This is the units. You've got the flats right here, which is the 100 block, and right here these are the thousands. This is the cube, this is the thousands. Okay, so we need, For the first number, 9,741, we need 9 of these. Just go in the thousands place, okay? You're gonna have to drag and drop these. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So for the hundreds place, we need 7 hundreds. So we need to drag 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And for the tens place, we need 4 of the 10s to go in there. So we're dragging 4 of them over there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And for the ones place, for that first number, we need just 1, because our number was set 9,741. So this is to help you compare both of them. Now you can actually get them both on one page if you kind of squeeze them in just a little bit, and you can get them all in one if you want it. You can get both numbers there, and you just have to move them all up. Okay, so what I've gone ahead and done was I actually made both numbers. So in the top part up here, now there's no line for me to separate them here, but I've got both numbers on here. So at the very top, I've got 9,741. Down here at the bottom, I've got 1,479. So now this gives you a really good view where you can compare these two numbers as you kind of built them using the base 10 blocks. And now after you've done that, you can go back to the actual question in your binder and you can answer that probably a little bit easier. Okay, so after you've done those, your next task is going to be to go to Discovery Education, and we've posted some videos in there for you. Place value, video, and there's practice. Okay, so go to Discovery Education, and these have been assigned to you already by your teacher. So go in and work on those to get more practice.